Hey everyone, and welcome to Grace for the Journey. I'm your host, Sharanda, and I'm glad to have you back here if you've been here for a while. If this is your first time, welcome to a safe space where we just get to come together and unpack life's challenges together, where we heal together, where we can grow together, where we can just be authentic, just be real, and just talk about the things of life. So today, we are going to be talking about feelings. I don't have a big 5 step plan for you today. Follow these three rules and you'll get here today. We're just going to be literally talking about those days when you don't want a life and you may not know why, and it seems like you can't get out of it. Those days happen to the best of us. I don't know if you've ever gotten up, or maybe you just literally just opened your eyes and you're still in bed and you start to think about all the things that you have to do that day, or maybe you're just feeling off and you can't explain exactly why you don't feel like yourself, but everything that you need to do that day, or the things that you think about that you need to do that day, just feels so hard. The simple things like rolling out of the bed, brushing your teeth, fixing breakfast, taking the kids to school, going to work, just adulting. We like to say that a lot, but let's really talk about it. It happens. It happens. Sometimes not so often to some people who may already have systems figured out and how to get out of that rut very quickly. Sometimes it still happens a lot, but we know how to get out of it a little easier than others, perhaps, or easier than it has been before in the past for you. So we're gonna dive a little deeper into those feelings and just gonna validate them for you. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I was actually there a couple of days ago. I say there like it's a place, but maybe it is a place. It's not a good place to be all the time, but it does happen. And I just felt off and I couldn't pinpoint exactly what was happening. And I'm a pretty self aware person. I've grown a little bit in learning myself and knowing which feelings are natural and which ones are not so much all the time. So I was aware enough to know that, I was in myself. I should not have been feeling that way, but I couldn't figure out why. And to be honest, I didn't have the energy to try to figure out why. In that moment, I didn't want any advice thrown at me. I didn't want a scripture thrown in my face. I didn't want somebody telling me to be that I'll be fine. Which is everything I probably needed. But let's be real. Sometimes you're in that space where you just don't want to hear it. You just want to be in that place. And though it might not be the best space to be in, let's be real, that's not the best space, but it happens. And the feelings are actually valid. And it happens to more people than you think. So for me, it wasn't any self talk. It in that moment, there's other times when self talk has helped me. There's other times when people have helped me get out of a rut. It's been times when I remember scripture. There's different things that have helped me get out of that space. But in this moment, a couple of days ago, it wasn't any of that that was helping me. It was literally the fact that it was my kids. So pretty much, I was to the point. I just felt like I just wanted to lay in this bed. I didn't even want to get up and go to church. And I knew that when I got there, I know I was going to feel better. I know that. Half of the time it's not, or most of the time, it's not knowing what to do. We know what to do. It's having that energy, that push, that drive, that motivation to actually do the thing. There's so much information out there already. There's so much information already inside of you. There's so much things that you already know to do. There's so much things that you have learned over your life. And I'm sure there's so much self awareness messages or podcasts or books that you've read. I'm sure there's so many things that you've heard of. This is what to do when you feel this way. But it's not the knowledge all the time. We have the knowledge. And I know we have the knowledge because in that moment, if someone had come to me feeling the exact same way that I felt, I know I could have gotten them out of that situation. I know I would have been able to make them feel better. But I didn't even have the energy to make myself feel better. And I was there for a little bit, not too long. But like I said, it was the fact that I knew it was temporary. I knew enough to know it. This is not a fact. This is just some feelings. It's just your emotions. You're just going through it right now, even though you can't pinpoint exactly why. This is just some feelings that are gonna go away. This is temporary. And my kids are to be in church. Like it's a thing. They grow up in church and they need to be in church. And I didn't want a temporary feeling to hinder them from a blessing that they could have possibly missed. Missing a day in church, would it have been the end of the world? No. Could we have connected online? Absolutely yes. But I also want to instill in them that, yeah, we feel certain ways at certain times, but as much as we feel and as hard as things feel, we must fight those feelings with all of our might. And there's times when you don't have the energy to fight. And I wanted to show them that you push and you push and you push, you get back up, you call a lifeline. Like you don't just end and just stop because of a temporary feeling. So that's what got me. That's what got me out of, I don't want to say out of the rut because I didn't quite get out of it, but that's what kept me moving through those feelings. Because like I said, like we can go through those things quite a bit. We can feel sad, feel angry, feel anxious. Like we're human. We're meant to have feelings, but we're not meant to make decisions based on those feelings. A mentor says a lot that we don't make decisions based on our feelings. We use those feelings to enjoy the decisions that we've made. And it sounds very profound and it's very true. But in reality, sometimes it's hard. It's hard to push past, but it's very, very much possible. So when you're going through something, it's okay to not be okay for a minute. It's okay to sit and just be like, acknowledge it. Acknowledge I'm not feeling this right now. I don't actually want to do this right now. I actually don't want to do the thing I need to do. I don't want to get up and exercise. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to read this book. I don't want to go to work. It's okay to acknowledge it. It's actually great to acknowledge that that's exactly how you feel. But I know, we can't make decisions, especially important ones, just based on those feelings. And we live in a world where now validating feelings is very important. It's very, very, very important. You don't want to make anybody feel less than because they feel a certain way. You don't want to talk down or discount anybody because of their feelings. But this world that we live in today is built so much on just feelings, on just temporary things. I'm sure you've heard about people who, I won't give examples, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but people who do certain things when maybe they go through a breakup or maybe they lost a job or they lost something. They experienced a major event in life that they didn't see coming and it affected their emotions drastically. So they do something in that moment. They make a in that moment decision based on a temporary feeling. And you hear a lot, don't make emotional decisions, don't make emotional decisions. And it's true. It is easier said than done. So what I find that it's great to have a why. It's always good to have a why. And if you don't have one yet, I really suggest that you really sit with it. Really sit with it and find a why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you pursuing this particular dream? Why are you pursuing this career? Why are you studying this particular thing in school? Whatever it is that you're doing. Because there's some days you're just not going to want to do it. You're just not going to want to do it. And it's that deep down why. Sometimes that's the only thing in the moment that will make you push past those feelings that are very valid and very real. So sometimes the deep down why is the one thing that can get you to keep going and push through while you feel the way you feel, right? I'm not here to say, oh, you should not feel that way. You know better. You need to keep going. Just ignore it. No, it is a fact. It's a fact that we have those feelings and not all the time we want to do what we know we have to do. Like if I'm really real, like even this episode was a fight because I really didn't want to do it. And I just felt like there's not enough time and there's so much to do and felt like so much energy and so much work. But was my why? I don't know who's on the other end of this video. I don't know who needs to hear this today. And I've been given a task to do. I've been given an assignment to do. And I'm like, nope, I have to fight through this feeling because it's not about me. I'll get over it. I'll be fine. And I need to get this done. So while I want to validate that, not all the time you're going to feel great. Not all the time you're going to want to do what you want to do. And that feeling of inadequacy sometimes, is there. And that feeling of not being good enough is sometimes there. And that feeling of life feels too heavy and my challenges feel so big is real. They are real feelings. And there's so many things that you're probably going through that can validate those feelings. But it doesn't end with the feeling. Is a point I really want to get across. It does not end with the feeling. Those feelings are temporary. And I don't want to be dismissive to them. But you are stronger than you're feeling. You're stronger than you think. And you can get through it. I don't want to say ignore them, but ignore them. And keep going. And when you look back, you realize you're going to feel better. There's going to be a time when you actually will feel better. If it wouldn't be true, then it wouldn't be a feeling. Today we feel this way, tomorrow we feel that way. But at the end of the day, you can keep going. Like I said, find your why. And another thing I would add that really helped me personally, just in the last few days, it's good to ask God for people. Ask God to put people in your life, to put destiny helpers, to put people that truly love you and want to see you succeed. I don't want to assume that you already have them in your life because you may not. But ask God for those type of people because, like I said, this time what got me going was my kids. And many other times it's been a friend that I'm connected to that I might not even have told that there's something happening, but they just knew something's off and let me check in on her. So this last couple, like I was explaining when I was just feeling out of it, it was literally, there's 3 particular people that I'd recognized. Yeah, this isn't Sharonda. But honestly, I didn't even want to talk. I didn't want to talk about anything. I didn't want to tell them anything that was happening. But I couldn't fake it. When you have real bonds with people, they know. And sometimes it's not for them to come and give you a lecture, give you a speech. Sometimes it's just for them to say a silent prayer for you, right? Just to connect and be like, give you a hug maybe. And to be honest, I didn't even want to hug. I remember telling one of them, don't hug me because I don't want to feel emotional right now. So leave me alone. But having people in your corner or a person in your corner when you're going through those things is also very, very, very beneficial. And that was just my experience. It was having people to check up on me who know me and be like, "Hey, are you good?" And I'm looking at the face and lying, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good. By faith, I'm good." And they're like, "Okay, I hear you, but don't worry, I got you behind the scenes." And I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful to have those type of people. So if you don't, just ask God to be like, I need someone in my corner because life's hard. Life be life in. And to be honest with y'all, it wasn't anything serious. I've been through way more serious things before, like massive, massive things before. It was not even anything that serious. I was just in my feelings. I don't even think it was hormonal. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't, who knows? But I just was in my feelings and it happens. Like I want to get across that it happens. Don't make yourself feel less than because you just feel some type of way or whatever other lingo we like to say. Um, don't think that you're the only one and everybody else out there, they got it all together. No, people have just figured out systems and we will all figure out what works for us together. And there's sometimes that it's still going to happen. So that's going to be very short today. So just here to validate you guys that life happens, feelings happen, but you're not your feelings. The feeling isn't final, is temporary. So keep pushing. Remember your why or find a why. Find something that no matter how you feel, once you think about that thing, you're going to get up and you're going to just keep going and you're going to work through those feelings. And get some people in your corner. Community is a serious thing. Community is a serious thing. And one of the episodes or a few of them, I've spoken about vulnerability before. And sometimes it's hard to talk about what you've been through, or maybe you've experienced some trauma. You don't want to open up to anybody else. Do your best to heal from that. And if maybe somebody hurt you before, not everybody is out there to hurt you. Acknowledge it. You know what? I really don't trust people because this happened. But there's someone out there. We're not meant to be an island. I say it a lot, a lot, a lot. And I know my community, my village showed up for me when I wasn't even going through that. Like, it was not, like I said, it was not that serious, but I just was in it. And because they were there and because there was a connection, there was no way I could have stayed in that rut. So yeah, find your people, find your why. Don't feel bad because of how you feeling, but don't stay in those feelings. Acknowledge it and let's keep pushing and let's move on. Love you guys. Have an excellent, excellent day.